What's up, guys? Welcome to Movie Importance Flashback Reviews, where we take movies from our past, break them down, and tell you what we think about them. As always, if you like what you see, remember to rate, subscribe, check out the YouTube channel, Facebook, and Twitter. Email enlapolo113@gmail.com if you have any questions. So, we continue our quest for Avengers Endgame. We've come to probably considered the most popular movie of the MCU for most people. I'm not as high on it, but I still like the movie. It's the, crazily enough, Best Picture nominated movie Black Panther. So this is a pretty interesting movie. It was the highest grossing movie of 2018, came out in February. It grossed more than Avengers Infinity War, which is insane. Not on the foreign worldwide market, but in the Americas. And it is a story about T'Challa, played by Chadwick Bosman. He is a king. His father just recently passed away because he was killed in that bombing that happened literally right before this movie. And so he has to become the king that he's reluctant to be. But he has a whole group of people around him. You know, he has Daniel Kaluuya, who's his friend. He has Letitia Wright, who's his sister. He has his mother, who's played by Angela Bassett. He has his confidant, who is like his father's friend slash, person he grew up with, who's played by Forrest Whitaker. And so in the process of him becoming the Black Panther character, becoming king, he is having to deal with the situation of Wakanda is a very seclusive city that is hidden from the world, but they are very technologically advanced. They deal with vibranium, and the T'Challa has that problem where he's starting to have the influences from around the world starting to impact their society, and they don't want to share their stuff because they're afraid their technology is going to be used in the wrong way, which is kind of a problem of thinking nowadays, because the way the world has become with everything that's going wrong with society a lot of times, Wakanda, with their technology, with their resources, could really help, and that's what Michael B. Jordan is trying to say in the movie, and we'll get to that eventually. But T'Challa learns of he's been trying to take down Claw, who's played by Andy Serkis, sorry, and they go to Korea where they find out a deal is going down between Claw and Ross, who's played by Martin Freeman, who was also in Civil War, and they learn of this guy named Killmonger, and Killmonger is a mercenary. He worked for the government as a black ops type scenario of a person, and he is a scary character in the essence of what his motivations are is to get to Wakanda, because you learn that of a pretty big surprise that comes up later on. And so the story just plays out like that. It's just you have a society that doesn't want to move forward. You have a world that's coming closer and closer to invading their world. And then you have the mercenaries and the drug dealers and all this stuff going down. And it's an interesting movie that Ryan Coogler is trying to tell. I don't think it's perfect in the essence of the storyline. I don't think it just works a lot of time, but the action and the characters and the motivation for the characters are interesting enough that this movie is one of the higher tiered movies in the MCU for a reason. And it's all hinged on T'Challa's character, played by, like I said, Chadwick Boseman, who has to carry a movie that has a lot to say, is very in the now, very just in depth with what. And when he learns of what his father did to his brother, who was played by Sterling K. Brown, it breaks him down as a man. His father, who is T'Chaka, he he just doesn't know how to understand why T'Chaka would kill his brother, who's harboring a son, who's played by Michael B. Jordan. That's the biggest twist in the movie, is the fact that Michael B. Jordan's character, Killmonger, is a Wakandian, and he is on a vendetta. He is vengeful. He is going to do whatever it takes to get to Wakanda to take the throne from T'Challa. And T'Challa is so conflicted by this problem that he doesn't know what to do. And when they fight at the end, and when he eventually kills Killmonger, it's such a heartbreaking moment, because if T'Challa's father had done the right thing in the beginning of the movie had done the right thing for his brother, this would have been a whole completely different scenario of a movie. But because of the sins of the father, once again, like in Thor Ragnarok, these things come back to bite you in the ass, and that's what's happening here. And like I said, overall story is predictable. It's okay. I didn't think it was that great, but it's a movie that just it has something special and unique about it that you can't fault it for winning or get nominated for Best Picture. It's culturally relevant. It's dealing with, like I said, with scenarios that is very important in today's society. And you gotta give it all to Ryan Coogler for that, because Ryan Coogler is a guy that has a lot to say about how the certain minorities are treated. Not necessarily always black person or the African Americans, but the Mexicans and the any society of that nature. It's about this movie's about repression. It's about people who have to rise above their issues and their problems, and that's what the Killmonger character is doing, and that's why Michael B. Jordan is so integral to this movie, and why he's the best part about this movie, and why he's the best villain of the MCU. Because I don't care if you say Thanos is the best villain, but this villain is just so important. He's just so rogue and just intense, and the things he is saying about how all these people across the world, across the country, the people he's had to kill, the people he's trying to save, he's trying to teach the Wakandian people that we need to help people, but he wants to put military arms into these people, so he's causing more of a problem than he's trying to prevent. And Michael B. Jordan is just working on a whole different level from anybody in this movie. It's his show in essence of what he's trying to do, and the whole movie would fall apart if Michael B. Jordan wasn't such a great villain. You see him in the beginning when he's a little kid, and then he pushes into his adult as a mercenary, and you see him in that museum where he takes the Wakandian stick, and I think it's used for a detector to get to Wakanda. And then of course he takes down T'Challa for the throne, and he's going to use the Wakandian armor to give to the people. And it's just like especially when he dies at the end, he's like, "I'd rather die than live in a cell in bondage." It shows that this guy really has an essence, really has a drive for protecting people that don't have anything, which is a lot of people. There are many countries around the world that don't have the ability to protect themselves. There's very third world nation problems, and it's an amazing thing to see in a Marvel movie, especially something that is $200 million production that is dealing with subjects that it kind of amazes me that this is the type of movie we got, because nothing out there is like this movie. I mean, there are movies in general like this, but for a big budget Marvel movie or a big budget movie in general, it's very unique. We had Blind Spotting come out last year. We had The Hate You Give. We had Black Klansman come out last year. We had Sorry to Bother You. And this movie goes right along with those movies, talking about scenarios of situations and problems that need to be dealt with that people can't figure out how to do. And that's why Ryan Coogler is one of the best directors on the market. I put him alongside Christopher Nolan. I put him alongside, Spike Lee. I put him alongside by these directors who have so much potential, so much things to say, that the way they express them is just insane. And I give a lot of props to Kevin Feige for finding the best director for this movie. And like, the costume and design in this movie is amazing, and just everything about this movie works. We have Danielle Gurira, who's from The Walking Dead, who plays Michonne. She's really good in this movie. She is the kind of the leader of the Wakandian army, I guess, and she has a pretty fun scene where she has to wear a wig when they go to Korea. And then you have Lupita Nyong'o, who plays the kind of love interest to T'Challa. She's really fun in this movie. I don't know, between her and Danielle Gurira and Letitia Wright, it's just, this movie has a lot of empowerment for women, and it's really nice to see, because you don't get that a lot of times in these movies. a lot of these movies are having the women, especially early on Marvel movies, the ladies weren't as more prominent. And it's nice to see that they're kind of progressing, you know, just in a way to make movies more potent for any type of, colored director or female writer, female actress, whatever, and so on. And like I said, it's just fun to see these three actresses play off their parts, because especially Letitia Wright, who's like the Wakandian Q, if you know Bond, the James Bond movies, because she deals with the tech. She's the one that gives T'Challa his equipment and all that good stuff. And you see some really cool scenes where she's driving a car from Wakanda that's in Korea. She deals mostly with Everett Ross's character, and he flies a ship from Wakanda, and that's some good stuff in there. And then, all the tech, with the Black Panther suit and so on and so forth. And she's a really fun character. She's probably the funniest character in the movie because she has quips kind of like Tony Stark. She's like the Wakandian Tony Stark in essence, if you want to put it that way. But yeah, like there's so many good characters. Forrest Whitaker, like I said, he's really good in this movie. He has a lot of fun. He's a guy that has a lot of past to him with what he did to Sterling K. Brown, or the father of, Killmonger. And when he reveals what actually happened, the sadness and sorrow of what happened, it's such a sad situation. But yeah, the movie's good. The movie's real good, and I like I said, my problems just are story wise. I don't think this is a Best Picture nominated movie. To me personally, I think Winter Soldier on a story level telling perspective is better, just because of the impact that to me it had for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But I understand why it won, or it not got nominated for Best Picture and all these nominations, for sound and score that it won for. I don't know. I feel the set pieces are a little underused, underwhelming, especially the fight in the casino. When the one problem I ever had with this movie is the cut scenes where they're fighting and then they'll jump off like the ledge, or you see Black Panther T'Challa's character like fly up to a ledge and crawl over. And you can see the edits there is really jarring, and just like the battle sequence at the end with the rhinos, and that stuff just doesn't work for me. And it's a problem with having a director who comes first time for action style movies, when he did stuff like Fruitvale Station and Creed. Creed is actually well done in the action sense, but it's more like shot close up and boxing and so on and so forth. But it doesn't mean this movie is terrible. It just means the action sequences don't work for me. Like the car chase sequence is fine, but it doesn't lead to much of anything. It just leads to Andy Serkis getting caught. And, I like Andy Serkis, so I go along with it. And his death is kind of crazy because Killmonger's like just shoots him point blank. And yeah, it's interesting movie, but like I said, Michael B. Jordan, he's amazing. This is still a fun, entertaining movie that delivers on what it's expressing and what it's saying. And there's a reason it made $700 million in the Americas, because it's a movie that's important for most people, a lot of people. It's important even for me, for a movie that when you go in to try and review it, it has a lot to say. And that's what I look for. I look for a movie that does have a lot to say. So I give credit to everybody who worked on this movie. I give credit to cinematographer. It's a good movie. It's fun. It's worth seeing. So, but there you go. That's gonna be my take on Black Panther. Thank you so much for watching. Comment below what your favorite part of Black Panther is. Do you like Black Panther more than most movies? What's your favorite Marvel movie compared to Black Panther? All that good stuff. Otherwise, we'll see you on the next video. Peace out. What's up, guys? Thank you so much for checking out Movie Emporium. I really appreciate it. If you want to, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Hit the notification button and the bell at the top. Find out what's coming next for Movie Emporium. Also, check out these two videos. They're amazing. I think they're awesome. I think you'll enjoy them too. But otherwise, thank you so much for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.